And Mary, that student was hit right here in this intersection, just feet from Mariner High School. Deputies tell me the driver was going through a turn right here when they hit that student and took off. Take a look. You can still see some of the paint from the investigation this morning. Now, I spoke with a friend of that student who said the driver should turn themselves in tonight. Hundreds of people have made their way downtown to this protest. They are demanding protections and freedoms for those undocumented immigrants. And we have just learned in the last few minutes that some of these protesters have now made their way upstairs. They are now blocking the entrance to the ICE offices here in downtown Seattle. Investigators caught a break in this case when someone spotted this damaged van abandoned just about 7 miles from that hit and run scene. Stephanie's mother asked us to be here. She wants the world to know the impact her daughter made. As of now, this camp is closed. No one's supposed to be here, but you can see people are still coming by to pick stuff up. And tonight, the city says less than half of the people staying here are in shelters. Most folks just gathered their belongings and left.
This here is pretty much just what I got to take.
This could be a big moment for Rico Sandoval.
That's my next move. Go to the shelter, go somewhere I could get off the street.
City crews cleared Rico and 3 others from this staircase Tuesday as they hauled off the remains of this notorious encampment where police busted a drug ring last week. Once it's clean, they'll put up fencing to keep campers out. Well, what if they come back anyway?
Then we'll warn and we'll move people off.
The city has now cleared 28 people here. 11 of them went to shelters. And you've never been to a shelter?
No, actually, no, I haven't.
Rico hopes this helps him turn his life around.
I was thinking about probably even going back to school, man.
You know, it's not too big of a deal, you know, homeless.
Garrett, on the other hand, moved to this camp a block away.
We're just waiting for him to be done with that, and they're probably going to go back.
He's dealing with addiction and finds what he needs here. Do you worry about dying out here?
I don't know. It's not something I'm afraid of. Like, it would almost be kind of nice to get it over with. You know, I want to either quit. You know, I want to quit. I want to be done with it. You know, I'm sick of drugs, you know.
And there's Richard, who we met yesterday as he left the camp.
I guess I'm going to go down the street and survive like I always have. Like, I'm not afraid.
He slept in a parking lot, which he'll likely do again.
I felt all right. I don't know. I'll just wait for myself to adjust, and then I'll make up my mind, you know.
Then he walked off, leaving his sign, and found a spot to sit and get high before another night on the street.
So you can wish me luck. Good luck. Thank you.
And clearing all this stuff could take the city several days, and then they can begin restoring the environment here. That'll include scraping up soil to clear waste, garbage, and needles. Mary?
And it's this balcony here.
Cassidy Schlicky-Perez shows us how a gunman snuck into her apartment and murdered her roommate.
Kind of go into shock. I almost didn't believe it. I was like, there's no way that was her.
Subject with the weapon, possible shots fired.
Officers found 22-year-old Stephanie Brenner Cresswell dead early Wednesday morning. Police say Rigoberto Galvin, an ex-boyfriend, climbed in through this balcony armed with a handgun and killed Stephanie after telling her friend, quote, run because she is going to die. Cassidy heard the gunshots from her bed.
We just freaked out. I don't know, you kind of go into shock a little bit. You kind of freeze. Everything goes slow motion.
The RP is saying he killed his girlfriend.
Court documents say Galvin called 911, telling them, quote, you need to send as many cops as you can. I just killed my girlfriend.
We have the suspect on the phone with us. We're telling him to put his hands up.
Galvin gave himself up. He's now facing an aggravated murder charge. His motive is still a mystery. Stephanie was a student at Western Washington University, set to graduate in December. Her family tells me she was generous and kind and open. She was someone everyone should aspire to be.
Just super nice. Had nothing bad to say about her ever.
Cassidy lived with her all summer.
She'd always bake for us. She'd just bake and then offer it to everyone.
She was a good person?
Good person.
She's still processing the terror and the loss.
Still very haunted and anxious. Just don't want to really be in there, but I have to move my stuff out.
So today she did, driving away with a heavy heart.
It's just awful. It's just something that no one should have to go through.
In Bellingham, Gabe Cohen, KOMO News.
This is where she was shot.
Yep, right here.
Robert Fletcher's family trip to Pritchard Beach turned to chaos Monday night.
I saw a guy get out the car, aim the gun over the hood, and start shooting.
They took cover Then his wife Renee noticed a mother in her car with 2 bullet wounds in her chest.
And I took off my headscarf and pressed it into her chest to try to stop and put pressure on the bleeding. And I just whispered to her, "You may not know me, but such as I have, I give to you, and I'm giving you my effort and my faith." And I just prayed with her and held onto her chest until paramedics came.
Family tells me that mother is 27-year-old Quee Phillips. Her 10-month-old son Kari was also nicked in the shoulder, but is quickly recovering, as is a 10-year-old girl shot in a separate car. But Quee is still in the ICU at Harborview.
It hurts my heart.
Dominique is her sister.
Because not only her, like I could have been hit too.
She was with Quee when the shots were fired.
I had blood on my shirt from her and her son. I didn't know what to think. Like, I just prayed that she was going to be okay.
Now her family is praying for a full recovery.
We're taking it one day at a time.
And demanding justice for this senseless act.
People with guns are not paying attention to who they're really hitting. And they're hitting important people.
And Mary, right now that man is in stable condition, shot 3 times and found by officers right here by Howell and Broadway. And tonight the gunman is still on the loose after an urgent search inside this building and across the campus. Officers swarm Seattle Central College, guns drawn, searching for a shooter. This video shows paramedics load a man into an ambulance minutes earlier. Seattle police say he was shot 3 times and rushed to Harborview.
And he just automatically just fell down to the ground.
Terrell Campbell shot that video.
I'm scared because there's students in this school, and the cops are in this school trying to talk to a shooter, apparently.
A nearby security guard told police someone matching a description of the gunman was in a classroom on campus. Officers then combing the building as students sheltered in their classrooms on this first day of summer classes.
There's like a loud beep, and they said, stay inside. There's a situation outside.
It was pretty scary. Like, still I'm a little bit shaky.
Despite the wide smiles in this photo, the joy you see is complex.
I'm looking for my son, and he has been here for several years.
I met Steve Ellis Friday. He came to Tacoma from Illinois to search for his son, Jason, a former Marine who's now homeless. Steve hadn't seen him in 3 years.
I'm just trying to find him, take him home and take care of him. Do you know this guy?
Word of the search and our story got to Jason, and Saturday, the two were reunited.
Once I got that hug out of him, I said, yep, that's my same old kid, so I'm glad to find him.
You get the loving kind of, somebody cares about me kind of feeling and beyond. But it also kind of put me back to how quick time can get away from you.
Jason followed his ex and daughter to Washington. Then, he says, inner demons put him on the street.
I just kind of really got down on myself.
But he says he's turning his life around. He's living in Tacoma's stability site and seeking services at the VA.
I didn't feel like myself for the longest time, and as soon as I started to again, then here he comes. It's giving me a direction.
But that direction may not point back to Illinois.
I wouldn't say that that's the plan. In my mind, maybe in his mind, yeah.
Jason believes he'll soon secure housing and job training. Plus, his daughter is here.
I got a few things here I still need to accomplish.
So the two part ways once again.
I wish he was doing something else, but he's not. So, here we are.
A father and son split by circumstance, but tied by this simple truth.
My father's my father regardless, regardless of anything that would happen. He'll always be my father.
In Seattle, Gabe Cohen, KOMO News.